my name is Alianza Deborah. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. Before we continue, please kindly consider subscribing. Just like me, when you're out there minding your own business, do you feel like there's always that one guy who will try to get on your nerves, try to disrespect you? Do you feel like that? Because personally, I have experienced this a lot, and I had to come up with boundaries that will help me get respected. Okay, boundaries that will make men respect me. Not all men are disrespectful, don't get me wrong, no, but this happens also in relationships. So these are things that I have done to make sure that no man will disrespect me and make me feel disrespected or try to act in a way, you know what I mean, or even if they try, you don't get to me, they don't succeed. So I hope these things or these boundaries that I set up for myself will help you as well. Let's get into it. First one is my emotional well-being, where you're like, what do you mean? I've had to be careful about how much emotional energy I invest into others, because when we invest a lot of emotional energy into people, we become vulnerable to manipulation. This is specifically for relationships or when someone is out there disrespecting you, or in friendships. So I've learned, or I've had to decide when to give, or when to really when to invest my emotional energy and when to step back, making sure that we're not swayed by emotional highs and lows. So making sure that I'm not swayed by emotional highs and lows. If someone comes to me and they're emotionally high, it doesn't mean that I have to go high with them, or if they're emotionally low, it does not mean that I have to go low with them. I stay where I am, where I want to be. I'm not going left, I'm not going right, unless I choose to, unless I want to. Okay, so whether it's a man, friend, you just have to know or tell yourself that your emotions are not theirs to disrupt, and that helps you. So it's not theirs to disrupt or control. So it helps me not get controlled by people around me, or by anything or anyone trying to control me. No, I will stay where I am, look left, right. Do I want to engage? No. This will respect you. I'm telling you, this will give you respect. People will respect you when they try you and you don't give in. Okay, I'm not saying that sometimes we don't, like we have one of those days where we're like, this person have tried me, that have tried, and then we snap. But it will give you respect, or I have earned respect personally for not engaging when people are trying to manipulate me or control me using emotions, trying to make me vulnerable. I stood where, like, that will give you respect. This next one is for when you're in a relationship. It is silence treatment coming from your partner. Sometimes guys will do this, or men will do this, when you communicate something that you feel is not okay with you. So they start guilt tripping. So if you raise a concern, they make you feel guilty for feeling that way or for raising that concern. When that happens, it does not mean the problem went away. You still have to communicate it, but you have to do it assertively, clearly, and calm. Okay? If you start bringing fire, it's not going to work. Okay? Because sometimes you might go to them and express a concern, and then they just go off. Well, how would you do this? So do you think I'm gonna do this and this and this and Just assertively, clearly, and calm. Communicate what you're trying to say. This is usually a trick to get you to forget what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? So when you let things calm down and then try again, assertively, clearly, and calmly, this will make this person respect you, because they're going to know that you do not play about your beliefs. Do not invite negotiations over your boundaries. Okay? Do not invite negotiations. That's another one. Don't invite negotiations over your boundaries. For example, if you set a boundary that says, if you cheat on me, I'm gonna leave, and then they cheat, and then you stay, they cheat again, you stay, do not give in. So don't invite negotiations over your boundaries. Do not. Ignoring behaviors that you don't like makes this being disrespected normal. It makes the disrespect normal when you ignore behaviors that you don't like, when you ignore them, when they start guilt tripping and you give in. With the people that we're dating, there should be mature, honest, and calm communication in our relationship. It makes it clear that your voice matters and you're not playing games. You don't want your time to be wasted. It's something serious. If it's not serious, you're not taking it. This will give you respect in your relationship, friendships, because I always do this. Even right now with my husband, if I think something is not right, I have him sit down and then I express how I feel. Okay? And then I expect an answer from him. But depending on what it is, it could maybe take time because he needs to think about it, or it's depending on the circumstances and whatever is going on. Situations where I feel like this conversation is uncomfortable, and he might just trying to be not wanting to engage in the conversation, or he just wants to make it for example, he will try to have us talk about it quickly so we can just time and peace. This is our next one. Okay, what does this have to do with self-respect or respect or being respected? Let me explain. When you prioritize self-care, personal goals, and downtime, this teaches people or tells people to respect your time and your presence. Another important thing that I want to let you know is that an unshakable foundation of self-respect earns the respect of others. So you don't let anything affect what you believe is true and what you believe will make you respected, your moral standards or whatever it is, your values, you know what I mean? If you don't let anyone or anything shake that, people will respect you for that. Because think about this, in this world, people give in to just wanting to please others. Like, you find someone or people doing things to please people, even if those things are not what they believe to be true and okay and right, they still do it because they want to please others. So when you stay true to yourself, staying true to ourselves will earn us respect. It's going to earn us respect if we stay true to ourselves. Because if you look around, there's a lot of people pleasers trying to do what they don't believe is right, what they don't believe is okay, just because they want to fit in, just because they want to fit in places, wanting to make other people happy. If you are about loyalty, don't tolerate any dishonesty in any form, such as small lies or major betrayals. Don't tolerate that. But in this generation, some people, even if they're about loyalty, they believe being loyal is important. Just to please someone, they take dishonesty, or they become okay with dishonesty. If loyalty is important to you, then you should not involve yourself with people who are about playing games, especially in relationships. And personally, I would not want to have friends like that, because I believe that in relationships, loyalty is a big thing. So for example, if I have a friend who is not being loyal to their partner, I am not going to be their friend, because loyalty is a big value for me. Loyalty is big to me. So if I have friends who are not loyal, especially if they are not being loyal to their partners, and I know it, but their partners don't, what I'm going to do is not be your friend at all or anymore, because you're not loyal. Loyalty is a big thing to me. So I'm not going to compromise or be okay with dishonesty, or with you not being loyal just because you're my friend. No, I'm going to stop being your friend. I am going to stop, respectfully. I'm not saying that you should not show understanding or be open-minded. You can be open-minded and show understanding, but still not compromise your core beliefs. Let me repeat that. I'm not saying that you should not be open-minded, because I know people use the excuse of being open-minded and showing understanding to be okay with things like this. That's an excuse. You can still be open-minded, and if you're about loyalty, then you're about loyalty. No small lies, no friends who are trying to play games who are lying. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.